Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Welcome back. So we got a Tfl Zonda on the block. This is not my boat. This is one of my viewers' boats. We're going to do some work to it, okay? He sent this boat in because he was having some alignment issue. Okay, and I told him all I really got to do is put a couple washers in between this mount, which I've done on other boats, and it'll line this stuffing tube right up to the collet. You know, I mean, it's not really off that much, but he wanted it all redone. So we're going to pull out the 2mm carbon fiber mount. We're going to make a custom 4mm mount. Okay, epoxy them in the boat. You can see one motor's a little farther out from center, one's closer to center. Okay, this one here actually looks pretty good, but this stuffing tube is burnt. You can see it's burnt. You see the back there? Okay, this one over here actually looks pretty good. So we're going to pull the stuffing tubes. Got some 1/4" K&S tube here, 4mm carbon fiber. We're going to need to pull the drives to get the stuffing tube out. Probably use a little heat inside the tube to loosen up the epoxy. The mounts, I'll probably just take these motors out, grind around the mount forward and back, clean it up, and then trace this mount onto here and then install the new mounts. So it's a lot of work. It'll be probably a week and a half, maybe 2-week job for me, because I'm working on this, my boats, and a Bulgarian over there. So it's very busy time of year for me. I really wish this would have been a fall winter project, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead and get this out, pull the motors, and I'll start it back. So I got one motor mount out. I went around, thinned out the epoxy, you know, where it was attached to the hull, and then I took my little torch and I heated up around the outside perimeter of the mount. That will soften up the epoxy. I took me a little rubber mallet, tapped it both ways, and it basically popped right out, you know. So I'll get this all cleaned up. I'm gonna basically do the same to the other side. Okay, this is what the other side looks like. Top of it's already broke loose. It's not epoxied all the way around to the top side, you know. So I'm just gonna kind of grind some of this epoxy down, and then we'll pull it out. Okay, so I got both motor mounts out. This one come out pretty easy. This one here I fought with it, but I went out to the shop, kind of cleaned it up. So once I get this all cleaned up, we'll be able to fit it and replicate this mount, but a little bit thicker, you know. So I'm gonna get all this cleaned up with my Dremel, and I'll touch back with it. Already got one drive barrel off. Basically just loosen up this guy here. I need to find the right screw that goes in there. He had an old rusty one in, Phillips head, so I'll get him a good cap head screw to go in. So we're just gonna loosen that screw up, undo this guy here, pull the barrel out. Okay, that will give us access to the stuffing tube. I was hoping I wouldn't have to pull this off. We'll see. So I've already got this nut and bolt here out. So let's see how TFL has. Okay, good. So we don't need to pull the drive base off. So that's freaking awesome. Let's see if this one right here will pull out. Probably not. I heated this punch up, and I basically stuck it in this drive. Okay, and then it heated up the epoxy, and this side here pulled right out with a little bit of heat. The other side, it came right out. I mean, it didn't even fight me. Looks like he has some dry fiberglass here, so we'll clean that up for him, kind of pretty it up a little bit. Same thing over here. Looks like they have. You didn't see it because the stuffing tube was there, so we'll try to clean it up the best we can. 4mm thick carbon fiber mount. Basically just used one of the old mounts. I cleaned it up and made a template, and then cut them out, and then I put it on my drill press and drilled out all the holes. Okay, so it's pretty precise. Both of them match. All right, perfectly match actually. we're using a 1/4 inch stuffing tube here. I think the boat comes with a 9/16 tube with a Teflon liner. Most guys actually remove the Teflon and run no Teflon. So I went a step down with the stuffing tube size. I went with a 1/4 inch stuffing tube, no Teflon liner, and these stuffing tube mounts are designed for a 9/16 tube. So I just cut me a little slither there, and that will actually mount our stuffing tube and retain it. Okay, I have up and down on the stuffing tube mount, okay, and then side to side on the motor mount. Okay, got both mounts in. They look pretty damn good if you ask me. I know it looks rough, but you got to keep in mind there was old mounts in here that I had to get out, grind down the old epoxy. He's done some work in here, which I've actually refined some of the work he's done. I didn't take a lot off. I just kind of manicured it a little bit, and I went over it with some thinned out epoxy, you know, to kind of bring some of the color back. I did a lot of my work in here. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I used this and a Dremel to do all the work in there, sanding wise, right? So I reinforced it with fiberglass carbon fiber. I profiled it, and then I went over it with a carbon fiber epoxy mix. Got a little bit of pigment in there, so it gives it a nice dark color. I think it looks pretty good considering what I had to work with, you know. See right here, see all this epoxy right here that was it looks like, well, I know they used it for the stuffing tube mount, and it looks like it drained down, it dripped down, sagged down into the bottom of the sponson. So I tried to cover it up with this big round circle of reinforcement. These were loose, and now they're ironclad. They're not going anywhere. And I tried to match it up on both sides. This side looks much better because the stock epoxy, like from the factory, didn't sag on this side, so it looks a lot better. Okay, I cut them so that I can epoxy from here. All this is epoxied, all of this, all the way around. So this top side is now reinforced. See that? Okay, nice, looks good. So such a bummer this paint chipped off when I was, you know, grinding and sanding in the boat. I'd pick it up like this and it just chipped off, you know. So now we need to put the motors in. Got the motors in here. Okay. Whenever I epoxied initially, tacked these mounts in place, I taped the motor up so we didn't get any epoxy on it because I had to have the motor in there, the stuffing tubes. So this is like the third or fourth time I've taken these motors out. So we'll go ahead and get these back in. We'll get the stuffing tubes in. I may need to bend or refine my bend, and then we'll get these epoxied into the through hole into the drive. Okay, it's looking good, looking good. All right, so it's been about a week since my last video clip was inserted, and I got a lot done in that week's time. So I'm about to put the very last screw in this drive line. All right, I got the motors in. Okay, they look perfect. Check it out. Perfectly aligned. Okay, I got the stuffing tube epoxied in. I put a little light coat of thinned out epoxy back here because I did a lot of sanding with a green pad, you know, trying to get that all that paint and stuff, all the debris off. So I took some leftover epoxy and just kind of went over back here just to bring some of the life back out, the color back. And I'm about to put this screw right here in. Everything seems like it's lining up perfect. I think as soon as I get, well, the stuffing tube's actually a little bit low right now, but I think as soon as I get this screw in, it should and tighten it down and get this stuffing tube lifted up, it should be good. So what I've been doing to get this, it's a tough screw to get to. I use this little ratchet, and if you put pressure on it back here, it'll allow it to freewheel, you know. So what I'm doing, putting this piece of foam folded up in between the hull and the ratchet, and it keeps tension on that wheel, so I can free spin it and get that screw set in with a pair of long needle nose. Very, very hard screw to get to. Makes quick work of it. Probably one of the toughest screws I've ever had to get to on a boat. It took me a few different tries to figure out how to get this in and out, you know, quickly and efficiently. So might be a good tip for you guys that have the Zonda and you need to get to this stuffing tube mount screw. Motor stuffing tube alignment for the starboard side. Okay, that looks pretty good. Kind of drops down and then it lines itself up, but it's actually dead nut center in the stuffing tube. Okay, you guys see it's perfectly centered in the stuffing tube. Okay, see how it's resting on the bottom of the tube, and then it goes into the collet. Now it's perfectly center. Okay, now let's check the other side. Perfectly aligned. So let's see what it looks like whenever I pull it out and then slide it back in. Just like the other side, it hits the collet and then lifts itself up a little bit to go into the collet, but it's also perfectly aligned, perfectly center in the stuffing tube there. You see that? Okay, looks good, looks good. Also drilled out those 3 holes in the mount I didn't show you guys earlier. Those are for cooling lines, JSTs, whatever he may need to run through this motor mount. He has the option now, you know. I'm cutting this into this video because I was editing the video and I noticed that I put this electronics tray in upside down. I was like looking at it, I'm like, how the hell does the servo go in there? And I was studying it as I'm editing the video. Like, I'm done. I've already like tested it. You're about to see the bench testing. Just know that I had to go back after I closed this video and actually flip this electronics tray over. Okay, so I got it flipped over. Before Daryl gets his boat, he'll get the boat how it's supposed to be. Okay, just know that I called it before I sent it out, right? So I actually got the boat greased up. Okay, used my Marine 24C grease from Quicksilver with PTFE. I also put a little zets of motor oil and transmission fluid mix. I've been using that in my drive lines just as a tester, really. I've been doing it the past month or so, just as a little additive. It's been working pretty good for me, right? So we're gonna bench test it real quick on 6S and kind of feel for heat, make sure everything sounds good. It'll be the first time it's ever been spooled up, so I want to check the drives back here, just kind of make sure they're about the same. They look about the same. They got about a degree or so down angle. Okay. We, as you guys seen, we checked for motor alignment. Motor alignment seemed good, so I got a Y splitter hooked up. I need to make sure we have the right motor rotation real quick. Just got it on a cheap receiver. I have one of the BECs disabled on my Y splitter here, and let's listen to it. So we're running inward rotation, so this one should spin counterclockwise. This one should be clockwise. Yep. Okay. So that looks good. All right, here goes nothing. First time it's being spooled up, so it may need to wear itself in. Brand new flex cable, brand new brass stuffing tubes. First time greasing it. So we'll take it easy. I do have it on 6S, so we're going to spin it up to a real high RPM. Feel for heat. Low RPM. Ooh, sounds really nice. Okay, so we have SRDs in it, okay? So it's getting some RPM right now, all right? And I'm gonna feel around for heat in the drives. Got a little warmth, little hotter than warm temperature, room temperature. The inside stuffing tubes are barely warm. Sounds good, bro. I don't hear no cable whip, which these are real short cables, so there's not really any whip in the drive line. So that's awesome. All right, well that's 6S power. I would actually say it sounds pretty damn good, especially being the first time it's ever been spooled up. So there's not a whole lot of sling out here. All right. Oh man. So yeah, I tell you what, you guys, if you plan on doing this to your Zonda, you got your work cut out for you. Okay, you do. It's a very confined area, like really confined. Okay. I used this roll of 80 grit. I also rolled up. I can't find it right now. But I rolled up a DA pad, 40 grit DA pad. I rolled it up just like this. I cut the ends, and this would make really, well, I wouldn't say fast work, but it really sped the process up of getting all the old epoxy off where the old mounts were. I used a Dremel with a grinding wheel in there. Basically, these motor mounts are epoxied in from here all the way around to the inside of the sponson. Okay, roughed it up really good before I epoxied them in. I used epoxy fiberglass for my initial layup, and then I did epoxy carbon fiber my second. Then I used this right here to clean everything up, and then I did a final application of pigmented epoxy, my very last, just to make it look good, beautification pass, you know. Basically the same thing with the stuffing tube mounts, right? Tried to kind of blend everything in, make it look good, you know, some eye candy type deal. And I tell you what, I'm pretty happy with the way it sounds. I'm happy with the alignment here. It sounded good, it looks good, and I mean, hell, you can't really ask for too much more, you know. As far as back here, I just put these a button head screw back here, so I'll actually include some M3 grub screws if you want to go that route on your post right here, your pedestal. I'll put some stainless steel M3 and some steel, a real long steel M3, so you can use that. Just know that you need to Loctite this, you need to Loctite this, and you need to Loctite the collet screw. Okay, the collets, grub screws. The motor mount is Loctited, both of them. So collet needs Loctite, and the drives back here need Loctite. I don't know if you put Loctite on the drive dogs, but you might want to put Loctite on there if you didn't already. I didn't break that loose. I made sure the flex cables were cut the same length, so I made sure the motors were the same distance from the transom, so you have a natural gap back here. As you seen earlier, they lined up to the motors really nice, and I just kind of stuck the ESCs down temporarily. He can finish the process when he gets it. Basically, my job was driveline installation and motor mount, and the 4mm motor mounts turned out great. I put those holes in there so you can run cooling lines, large, medium, and small. So yeah, like I said, you guys, it's a big project. If you decide to do it, it's going to take you a little while. You know, it's not like a one-day project. It's a week job if you work on it dead ahead. It took me a month and a half to do this. I do a little bit, work on something else, do a little bit here and there, you know, so pretty pleased. I'll let you guys go. The video is probably getting pretty long now. Like I said, we got a 6S on it. Sounds good. I don't think it could sound no better. You know, so yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Like the videos, subscribe to the channel. Big B with Ironclade RC.